Everose, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast series, where we dive into the chaos and beauty of anime. For those who are new here, I'm Scarlet Everose, your solo guide through layered characters, complex worlds, and the gray zones of morality. In the last episode, we explored the infamous rivalry between Light Yagami and L, but today we're shifting gears and imagining a matchup between two of the most brilliant, controversial minds in anime, Light Yagami from Death Note and Lelouch v. Britannia from Code Geass. Now, full transparency, I haven't seen Code Geass in its entirety, but it's absolutely on my watch list. I've known about Lelouch since my early teens. He was actually my anime crush back in middle school. So I've done a lot of research on him over the years. I'm familiar with the plot and key characters, and I can't wait to dive into the series soon. Alright, grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's dive into this battle of rebellion and justice. Before we get started, thank you so much for the support you've been giving this podcast. I'm truly growing with each episode, and I'm feeling more confident behind the mic. So thank you for being on this journey with me. Alright, enough of the sentimental stuff. Let's get into it. Segment 1. Who is Light Yagami and Lelouch v. Britannia? I'm going to go with Light first, since I did talk about him in my 4th episode. So quick little recap here. Who is Light Yagami? He is a brilliant high school student who stumbles upon a godlike notebook and decides to become judge, jury, and executioner of the world. So quick little recap here. If you guys haven't seen my 4th episode, you guys can see it up here if you guys want to. Basically, Light Yagami is a teenager at first that picks up a notebook that basically you have the highest power of either getting rid of people or using it for good. But let's say in this version, the main protagonist that turns villain basically uses for bad. And at first he did have good intentions, but then you kind of realize as the audience that you're like, oh, he's killing people. And at first he said he wanted to kill criminals, and no, and then he actually started to kill everyone, because anyone that stood in his way was basically a threat. And basically he started to get a god complex, a narcissistic god complex. And basically he made a deal with a Shinigami. If you guys don't know what a Shinigami is basically a god of death, an angel of death. Basically, Death Note, you guys, is basically a metaphor with how we treat people, how we choose to either cut them off, or in a good way or a bad way. And Ryuk is basically our conscience, or our little voice that either says we're doing something good or we're doing something bad. But whatever happens, it has consequences. And he has stated to Light more than once that however he uses the notebook, he has consequences. And Light didn't listen because he thought it was the greatest thing to ever exist. If you guys can't see it, I'm literally rolling my eyes because it's like, whoa, dude, okay, alright, whatever. And he basically started just going on a freaking rampage with it, and a lot of people supported him, a lot of people feared him, and a lot of people hated him. A lot of people wanted him down and stuff like that. And I'm just gonna also state this real quick. There was this other chick named Misa Amane that I don't really talk about in my 4th episode, because I was talking about this other character named L, that was a detective trying to stop this alter ego named Kira. Not Shakira, not Shakira, is just Kira. And basically it's an alter ego of Light, basically. But at first, the girl named Misa Amane was a celebrity that was really devoted to Kira and, basically was his follower and basically started to, hurt other people, stuff like that, just to get the attention of Kira. Basically, she, without realizing, she wanted the light. She wanted Light's attention. Before they even met, she was a stalker of his and would do anything to get his attention. Once she realized who he was and that he was handsome and stuff like that, she was head over heels in love with him. And it was to the point that she could be insufferable. She was smart, but she could be insufferable. But you would feel bad. And I will get to her in a little bit. But all you guys have to know is that basically, of course, as always, a narcissist doesn't love anyone except themselves. Basically, Light uses her to his advantage, and she was devoted to everything he said. It was pretty sad, to be honest. I don't know if she really cared or she just really did have low self-esteem, that she really, just wanted his attention that bad. Light didn't care about her. Light didn't care if she died. like Light was this type of person that all he wanted was to create the new world, and if nobody followed it, you were either, in his eyes, you were either a threat or you were out. You were out of his world, and not in a good way. Yeah, so basically, that is Light Yagami. I talk about him more in my other episodes, but I will talk about him more in my podcast series. So, and there's another character, not in Death Note, but it's the character I'm going to talk about. Two intelligent minds, but I'm just going to be honest here. Lelouch really was a better fit because, in my personal opinion, don't come for my throat, but in my personal opinion, Light was a lot better Lelouch was a lot better than Light. Oh my gosh. And because, yes, I understand Lelouch wasn't an angel either. He had a lot of blood on his hands, but he did it with a purpose. He did it for a reason, and it was a really sweet reason. I'll get right into him. Alright. Who is Lelouch v. Britannia? An exiled prince who gains the power of Chaos and leads a revolution against an oppressed empire under the alias Zero. So basically Lelouch v. Britannia is the main protagonist that I am going to call Lelouch an anti-hero because he basically pretty much is. Basically Lelouch was a prince that was exiled from his homeland named Britannia. And he was transferred to Japan, and he has a best friend named Zaku, and they're like childhood frenemies. I'll get into that in a little bit. And yes, if you guys don't know what a Chaos power is, even though I'm sure you guys have have heard before, I have not watched the series in its entirety, but I've seen a lot of clips of it. I know the plot. I've read the plot and stuff like that. I've known Lelouch for years because I started also a little bit of Code Geass just for a little bit in my middle school years as well. Segment 2, Duality Breakdown. Light's ego-driven justice versus Lelouch's rebellion-rooted revolution. Light seeks to cleanse the world of criminals and become its god, while Lelouch fights against oppression and he's willing to take extreme measures to achieve his goals. What makes this comparison so fascinating is how both characters justify manipulation, lies, and mass sacrifices in the name of what they believe is right. Light isolates and controls, Lelouch inspires and commands. So basically, a little breakdown on that. The reason when it says light isolates and controls and Lelouch inspires and commands, and I am the perfect example of this. Light, I have a love-hate relationship. I dislike Light for what he did to one of my other favorite characters, but most of all, it's just how arrogant he is. It wasn't even that arrogance that you want him to do good. It was that type of arrogance that kind of made you want him to shut up because he wouldn't stop talking about himself so much. Like, that was the type of arrogance that really made me want to dislike him a lot more. Because he wouldn't shut up about it. He really thought he was the best of the best. Look, I'm just gonna say this. You know, if I wanted to cosplay as Light, I will, because like I said, I don't dislike the dude to the point that I can't even look at him. That is not true. I admire Light's intelligence and stuff like that, and I wouldn't mind cosplaying as him, but I just couldn't stand his arrogance. I could not stand that. Oh my gosh, I wanted him to shut up. There were some times where I'm like, dude, I get it. You want to be part of the new world. You want to create something good, but look what you're doing. You're hurting people and you don't care. That's the worst thing about it. You don't care. And towards the very end, he realized that he died a coward. You know, Lelouch, you know, and I'm the perfect example of this. Lelouch, on the other hand, inspired me to do my best to, you know, get good grades and stuff like that. Lelouch even inspired me, and I'm not even kidding you guys. Fun fact about me here. Lelouch was the one that truly inspired me to get into chess. I love chess. I might not be the greatest at it, but I love how the mind works. I love psychology. And Lelouch, really was the one that inspired me in middle school to even take chess class after school. You know, that's how much I love chess. I love watching tournaments of chess and stuff like that. And I'm even willing to learn to play chess. It looks so much more fun. It looks a lot of fun, and I have played it, you know, with my family, and it's a lot of fun. Lelouch is the perfect example of a person. Even though you may not make the greatest choices, but at least you're helping someone, and at least you're trying to make a world better place. Please do not try to be a Light Yagami. Look, he may be cool while he's doing it, but he's such a tempered, tantrum type child, like in the baddest way. Like, I love, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with Light, but if I had to choose between Lelouch and Light, Lelouch all the way. My personal opinion. Yeah. And both of them walk the line between hero and villain, and they both know it. The only difference with that is that, you know, both of them, you know, in the beginning, Light really... I'm gonna be for real. Light in the beginning really, really did want to get rid of criminals at first. Like, spoiler ahead here, he really, erases his mind in part of one of the episodes. And, when he didn't get the death note or anything, he was actually a really cool, nice kid. Like, he was a sweet guy. Like, I did see somewhat of his sweet side, but it didn't really last that long. And, if he didn't find the notebook, maybe he would have, maybe he would have been different. But without the death note, there wouldn't be no show. I would not be talking about this, to be honest with you guys, if I had to be brutally honest. But, yeah, Light isolates and control, and Lelouch powers and commands. By commands, there was this one part where I did not talk about the power. Okay, so like the Death Note, you have 60 seconds to write a person's actual name, not a fake name, or else it doesn't work. And then in the Death Note, you write what you want people to see how they end it and stuff like that. That's the purpose of the Death Note. The Geass is that you make a contract with an immortal person. For example, C2 is an immortal mystery woman that gets into a contract with Lelouch, and she gives him a power that's called the Geass, and it's like a bird thing on his eye, and he can command people to do whatever he wants them to do. And the thing about the Geass is that there's different types of Geasses, but from what I've known, from what I remember, is that Lelouch's Geass can only command people to do things more than one time. So if he Geass you, he can tell you, hey, go wash the laundry for me, and I command you to do it. You will be like brainwashed, and you will say, yes, Your Highness. He's done a lot of things, and he actually took a lot of advantages of people in the wrongest way sometimes. But like I said, towards the very end, he had a good reason. Light, on the other hand, just wanted to kill you if he saw you as a threat, or if you didn't agree with what he was doing. Plain and simple. Yeah. Segment 3, Attraction and Power. Let's be real. These two characters are captivating to watch, not just for their intellect, but for the emotional weight behind their decisions. Light, calm, charismatic, cold-blooded. Lelouch, theatrical, passionate, morally conflicted. Yes, so basically both of them, Light at first, was very shy. He didn't talk much. He only cared about his studies and going to college. And, what makes me so sad is that, if he didn't find the Death Note, he would have been a great detective, just like his dad. He really would have if he didn't find the Death Note. But it just shows you how much power can go into the wrong hands, and how much it can change people if you don't guard yourself, if you don't tell yourself, hey, this isn't good, or if it's too much, just let it go. It's not worth having that type of power if you can't control it. Lelouch, on the other hand, is very passionate and morally conflicted. Yes, of course, because, he betrayed his own country. He hates his father for betraying him and his sister. And then he just gets exiled because his own father didn't want him. Or his sister. And mind you, he had a bunch of wives. His father was that type of man, I'm just saying. And, just exiled him for just because. And I would completely understand why Lelouch felt very protective of his sister, because he didn't trust anyone with them or anybody. So he was morally conflicted because he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he really, really loved his sister. But then he started to realize that there were more people than just his sister to change the world for. He was given a reason, even though his decisions weren't the greatest. But like I always will say, it got him where he wanted it to be. Yeah, they both carry a magnetic presence, and even when we disagree with them, we understand why they do what they do. Now, let me put it this way. I understand that Light really wanted to change the world. It was just the way he said it that just wanting me to, for just wanting, just me wanting him to shut up about it, pretty much. But, it would have been, I'm being brutally honest with you guys, it would have been interesting if Light did win, but it would not make any sense in my personal opinion. But like I said, with Lelouch, even though there were a lot of things I probably didn't agree with from what I could remember, it's been so long, I understand why he did it. And he had a very good reason why. He really did, and I wouldn't blame him, even if he was a murderer and stuff. Yeah, this power dynamic, whether through fear, charisma, or vision, draws people in. They're not just playing mind games with their enemy. They're challenging us as the audience too. Oh, that's why I said that both of these animes, putting Hunter x Hunter in there, but I'm just saying this. Death Note and Code Geass, even though I have not seen Code Geass in its entirety, I will this probably upcoming May, or not this May. I will probably start watching it, but come on, you guys have to watch it. If you guys are really if you guys can handle dark themes, it's really good. It really puts your brain to work, and that's the type of challenge that I completely crave. I love those type of series and stuff. So if I can tell you, these animes are the best. They're the greatest. Adding Hunter x Hunter in there, but I'm talking about from when I was in middle school, before Hunter x Hunter. Death Note was amazing. Code Geass was amazing. Both of them are amazing. I love them both equally. Segment 4, personal growth, boundaries, and reflection. Light and Lelouch are case studies in how power transforms people. Light starts with a noble goal but loses himself. Light starts with revenge but slowly evolves into a symbol of sacrifice. Light as a warning when justice becomes ego. Lelouch as a reflection when personal pain fuels rebellion. So I'm going to start with Light as a warning when justice becomes ego, because that is so true. Like I said, he had a very somewhat innocent of a goal that he just wanted to get rid of criminals. Completely valid, completely understandable, but then he was like, you know what? Okay, at first he was like, okay, I'm killing people, I should not be doing this, but I'm just gonna kill criminals. It's not that bad, right? And then he's like, okay, but what if I could become something? What if I could become something people have never seen before, people that have never had before? And then he was like, okay, what if I killed more than criminals? What if I killed people that were empowered, that were corrupted? And then he said, okay, I can do that. They're still bad people. I'm killing bad people. See how it kind of goes from I'm just doing this to, okay, now people are getting involved. Police are getting involved. I have to do something. I cannot have my secret revealed, and I want to become better. I want to prove to everyone that nobody else could do this, that I'm the one with this notebook that can end your life whenever I say, whenever I do. That's when his ego blew up. And he was like, and instead of killing just criminals, he started to kill everybody that didn't understand. And if he actually did live, you guys, he would be a freaking dictator, killing you because you didn't agree. If whatever he wanted, if you didn't see him as he thought he was, you would be the end of it, and that was it. Now, Lelouch hated his dad. Lelouch very good reason. I don't like his dad. He had very much of a reason for why he did it, because, Lelouch got exiled. He got exiled and betrayed by his own father, by his own country, that he was like, you know what? Screw you all. I'm gonna go to what you're taking from Japan and protecting them, while my best friend is betraying my butt and going against his own country, but going with you guys instead. Basically, it was like, you know what, screw it. I don't care what happens to me. As long as my sister is safe, as long as the other people like her, anyone else that's suffering, I don't care. I will become the demon, because that was the whole point, is that he knew he became the anti-hero to the demon, to make people hate him, for them to grab their hands in harmony and kill him, quote unquote. It says, their stories make us question how far is too far, and when you believe you're saving the world, how do you know when you become the villain? Ooh, I love this question. Very not easiest to answer, but very much is how much you have emotional intelligence, how we all have goals and ambitions, and how we decide to take people with us or take them out. Hopefully not in the way that light does. Cut them off. Like, if they don't understand your goal, they're not meant to be there. That's what I mean. Like, cutting them off in a healthy way, not in the way that makes you be the bad guy. I'm going to say this. Don't be small. Do not be small. Do not lower your own freaking standards just for people that don't give a crap about you. This year, I've learned something so impactful in my life. I'm not gonna name names, but there was someone that really made me choose between them and my goals. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking my goals, because if people don't support you guys, they're not meant to be there, period. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care how kind they are. If they're not understanding your vision, hopefully it's a good vision. Hopefully you're helping people and doing good for yourself and healing yourself in a healthy way. But if people are just there for your downfall, they're just waiting for it. Do not bring those people in. Do not reveal your goals. Do not reveal it at all. Make the goals reveal themselves, you guys. Period. Please do not let the light Yagamis, like I said in my fourth episode, please do not let these people in. They do not care about you at all, no matter how charismatic they are. They do not care about you. They will do anything to break you down, and do not let that happen. Please do not let that happen. Do not let that happen. And be very careful on who you talk about your goals with, who you even do. Actually, nowadays, I'm just saying this, be quiet about it. Don't boast about it. Don't be proud. Like, be proud of it, but be proud in a silent, confident way. Because honestly, you guys, boasting about it, don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're willing to take risks, then go ahead. That's your choice, but very simple. Do not be a light Yagami, please. Either be an L from Death Note or a Lelouch. But please, at the same time, please do not get blood on your hands at the same time. Look, we're not going to make the greatest mistakes, but just try to be a kind person. I know it's not the easiest, but just be the kindest person you can be. A lot of people are not having that, unfortunately, and just be the reason someone smiles. Even if it's just a crack of a smile, just make someone smile, make someone stay. It will make you feel good if you want to do that. So it says, what does that say about us? Do we root for justice, or are just the ones bold enough to claim it? Ooh. Basically, even though, like I said, I haven't watched Code Geass in its entirety, but from what I've read, from what I've seen by bits and pieces and understanding the timelines and the stories, Death Note and Code Geass are basically a reflection of whether we choose to be good, no matter how much we want to take revenge on someone. Because we're human. We will say we won't, but we have the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue. Look, you guys may not be religious, and that is totally fine. But I'm just going to say this. Seeking revenge, you guys, will never solve a problem. No matter how much the devil tries to tempt us into wanting it. It makes it sound so good. It makes it look cool, but it really isn't. But nobody's here to tell you, or you have your own decision. You have your own little Ryuk in the background, the little devil and the little angel on your shoulder, dictating whether you choose to be the good guy or choose to be the bad guy or choose to be in the middle. Look, a lot of people say don't be both, be one. Look, I'm gonna be brutally honest on that. I am a kind person. I want to believe I'm a kind person, but I'm human at the end of the day, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I have no idea. I make the most stupidest decision I'll ever make, but I'm going to say this. The only difference is that I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to reflect it, and I'm going to try to fix it, and heal from it if I ever do something. I pray I don't, but I'm just going to be real about it. I'm going to be straightforward about it. I don't know what kind of decisions I'm going to be put in. I have no idea what God is going to put me through. I'm probably going to make the most stupidest mistakes. We will all make stupid mistakes, and that's okay. Though what's not okay is it's kind of letting the problem become bigger and bigger and bigger. Look, you decide on how you want to perceive that. Like, I perceive it one way. I'm open-minded to anything, really. But it really does. I will ask that question again. Do we root for justice, or are we bold enough to claim it? If I could say something about myself, I'm becoming, instead of me thinking about it, I'm willing to take risks. I really am. And even if I make mistakes, that's okay. I'm not gonna sit and cry about it. I might cry a lot, but I'm gonna wipe my damn tears, and I'm gonna keep going. Because if there's one thing Lelouch has taught me, is that you don't sit back and take it. You build a freaking empire with it. No matter what people say about it. Who cares? Who cares? Honestly, who freaking cares? Keep going. Achieve your dreams, no matter how it is. Whatever you see in your vision, that's on you. Nobody else but you. I'm just gonna say that. So there you have it. Two kings in their own right. Light Yagami and Lelouch v. Britannia. Two different paths to power, two different visions of justice, and one shared truth. Control comes with consequences. That is true. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of my podcast. I truly love having these deep dives with you all. Don't forget to check out the teaser trailer if you haven't already. New episode drops every Sunday, and you can find me on Spotify and YouTube as Scarlet Everose. Till next time, take care of yourselves, question everything, and remember, the ones who shape the world often start with good intentions. Love y'all. Bye.